they're part of the armed forces also. They contribute to Israeli security also. So just like just like the Indian diaspora here in Israel, rather the Jewish citizens of India who trace their origin and lineage to Israel and to Judaism have been very important contributors to the Indian society.
Right, and now very soon we'll see Prime Minister Modi addressing the Israeli Parliament, the Knesset, a rare honor which has been accorded to him in this visit, the first Indian Prime Minister to do so. Although a President of India has done that in the past, Mark, but this is something quite remarkable, the kind of honor that has been accorded, and he will be, of course, letting not just Israel know what India feels about a lot of issues which are of import to the people of Israel, but to the world as well from this important stage. Ambassador Vada, we were talking about that, the emphasis on peace, India has always laid that, and that perhaps applies not only to the context of Gaza and the region, but also what's been happening with the evolving situation related to Iran.
Absolutely. This whole region is geopolitically extremely important for India, and our ties with Iran are also quite important given the fact that for many years now, India has been trying to set up a connectivity corridor with Iran and Russia, and that is the International North-South Transport Corridor. And of course, later on, many countries of the Caspian and beyond joined this particular project. But the key to this whole connectivity lies in India's investments in the port of Chabahar. And of course, Iran looks up to India to develop that project financially. And given the current situation, the sanctions from the United States on Iran, the project has been put on hold. India would like to increase its exports to the Central Asian economies, as also to have a connectivity project ongoing with Afghanistan, because otherwise it's very difficult to export our projects to this region on a much larger scale. So air connectivity works, but only to a certain extent, only for perishable goods, but not for the bulk goods. And therefore that project becomes very important. And that's why India would like to see that the region returns to normalcy as quickly as possible, and that a conflict does not happen, because it's not just the trade and economic aspect of connectivity, but it's also the effect that it will have on the large Indian diaspora in the region, and the displacements that it will cause to them, and consequently the effect it can have on the Indian economy.
Ambassador Badwa, also ever since India had been president of the G20, and India has now, significantly changed the narrative in a sense as the voice of the global South. To what extent is, a vision for the future likely to be something that the Prime Minister will be talking about in his address?
So, Prime Minister, of course, will be touching upon that aspect, I'm sure, because India is now going to be faced with a situation where we have the BRICS, conference which is coming up, the summit, and in that context, he will take forward this stand of India to represent the voice of the global South. As far as the G20 is concerned, we've actually tried quite hard to bring about an agenda of equitable cooperation around the world, and also to make sure that issues like debt in Africa and otherwise around the world are also addressed. The conflicts which have been raging for the past 4 years, starting with Ukraine, have caused a lot of disruptions as far as supply chains are concerned, prices of fuel and fertilizer are concerned. So all those issues have been raised by India in the past, but the presidency now passes on to the United States, where we'll probably see a different kind of focus in that context of G20. So therefore, the BRICS remains an important forum. And in the interim, wherever the Prime Minister goes, for example, today in this address to the Knesset, I think that's another issue that he would like to raise, especially because he's also addressing perhaps the whole issue of the Gaza conflict.
Right. Normally, Dr. Rajiv, when we see Prime Minister Modi addressing international audiences, he sort of pitches for India, especially where investment and collaboration and taking progress forward, mutual progress forward is concerned. But the Knesset is a different sort of a forum. It's where he speaks to Israeli lawmakers and people in decision-making capacity. So, how would he then sort of tailor his submission to them to again reflect upon how and what kind of partners India and Israel are, and what can they be, and how can they walk together in a set of challenging geopolitical scenario?
Yes, I think the Prime Minister will reinforce the fact that Israel is one of India's most important strategic partners. They have been with us in our period of trouble. When we required them the most, they helped us. And the Israelis are also acknowledged the fact that the Indian government has helped them when they needed them the most. And I think especially during this period of geopolitical uncertainties in the aftermath of the Gaza conflict, the fact that the Prime Minister chose to go there physically and meet them and address the Knesset, it's a very important symbolic gesture, reinforcing the strength of the partnership, reinforcing the strength of the strategic partnership, the people-to-people links, and the democratic framework of engagement that will obviously be further strengthened in the aftermath of the Prime Minister's address.
Right. Indeed, and we did see Prime Minister also laying a wreath a little earlier. He was scheduled to visit the Yad Vashem Holocaust Remembrance Center. We're not sure whether that was the incident, but he did lay a wreath, we did see. Obviously, that also may be significant of the current conflict that took place and the loss of lives.
Yes, I think most world leaders, make it a point to, go to Yad Vashem, very solemn.
Prime Minister was there in 2017 as well when he went there the first time.
Yes, absolutely, you're right. So, and it's very, it's in acknowledging the fact that the Holocaust happened, and in expressing solidarity and goodwill with the Israelis, for the fact that they've risen from there and they've become massively successful as a nation, as a people. They're an example to most of the other countries in the world, given the fact that they've achieved stupendous achievements. For instance, in the water sector, for instance, half of the country is a desert, but they are now water sufficient now. So because of the use of technology, and they have transferred sharing these technologies with their friends and strategic partners. So I think there's a huge symbolism, to the Prime Minister going to Yad Vashem and to his address to the Knesset.
Right, Mark, I'm not sure if you mentioned this earlier, but of course, Prime Minister Netanyahu and his wife Sarah are right next to Prime Minister Modi, to his right, and on his left is the Speaker of the Knesset, Amir Ohana. Right. He's been heading the Knesset, or taking the Knesset's work forward as its Speaker since 2022, and is part of the same political party as Benjamin Netanyahu, which is the Likud party.
Indeed, and we can see that they are leading the Prime Minister forward towards, the seat of the Israeli Parliament. We continue to stay with these visuals and put them into context for you. This is all part of the official ceremony that is part of the Prime Minister's address to the Knesset. We'll continue to stay with these visuals until the Prime Minister is ready to address the Knesset. But in the meantime, our guests are with us in the studio, putting India-Israel relations into a deeper and larger context. Ambassador Wadhwa, if we come back to the point of people-to-people ties, and we were just looking at cultural exchanges, but there is, after all, with technology continuing to increase, the sharing of technology and the ability of probably joint development and things like that, there would be a possibility of, greater diaspora connect or more people moving into Israel in the course of time?
Yes, absolutely. So, already the diaspora is quite strong in Israel. It's about 40,000 people, 40 to 45,000 people. They've been growing over the years. They've been growing because of the fact that Israel has been encouraging migration. And in fact, now there is also the possibility of another 10,000 people who are from the northeast of India, who trace their ancestry, of course, to the triangle between India and Myanmar and Bangladesh, and they will be the ones who can trace their ancestry back to Israel as well. So they've been accepted as the next wave of immigration from India into Israel. So we will see a number of them also going there. Many of them are into are caregivers at the moment in Israel. That's one of the professions that has taken off as far as India is concerned into Israel. Part of the mobility agreement that India and Israel have signed. And going forward, I think the presence of increased amount of diaspora from India in Israel definitely will affect the bilateral relationship as well. I would also like to add here that in terms of some of our major cities, if you look back into history, there have been Armenian settlements and Armenian Jews, and similarly, there have been Jewish settlements and Jewish structures which have been built and now remain as remnants of that era. India has done well to actually preserve them and also to make sure that these are on the tourist map. Israel appreciates that a lot, and I think it's an important connection again because that's something to do with our shared history of the past, and in the modern day times, it can serve as an important link as well. As far as the youth are concerned, we've seen an increased number of Israeli tourists coming into India because many of them come for R&R after a tough military service. Conscription is very important as far as Israel is concerned, as we know the situation there, and therefore, it's important for the youth to take off on a vacation sometime. And our Himachal and Uttarakhand, for example, have seen an influx of tourists. Earlier, it used to be places like Goa and Pune and down south in Kerala. So that is something which will keep happening as we come closer together. And I'm sure when the mobility aspects are considered for strengthening, we will see increased number of tourists from both sides to each other's countries.
Right. Dr. Rajiv, I'd like you to speak to the images in terms of the importance of Prime Minister Modi's not only his visit but coming to the Knesset to address it as well. What does it mean for Israel and for Benjamin Netanyahu, showcasing the visit of a leader of the stature of Prime Minister Modi, who leads a country of 1.4 billion people. It's a democracy, the world's largest democracy, a pluralistic society as well.
Yes, so I think Prime Minister Netanyahu is on record stating that Prime Minister Modi is very popular globally. He's one of the most popular leaders globally, and the Prime Minister has said that the fact that Prime Minister Modi is coming to Israel at this time is very significant for them. He has appreciated the gesture, in glowing terms. So I think, and we have to note that the geopolitical context in which the visit is taking place, as Ambassador Wadhwa and as you also have pointed out, there's very significant, one of the few world leaders to come to Israel, during this time period, and this reinforces not just the strength of the partnership, but the fact that it acknowledges the importance that India vests in its bilateral, the strength of the bilateral relationship with an important country like Israel.
Indeed, and Ambassador Wadhwa was talking a little earlier about the Jewish community from the northeast of India, Manipur and Mizoram, and they are called the Bnei Menashe. They are children of Manasseh, one of the 10 lost tribes of Israel, and it has been recognized, as you say, by Israel now as one of the 10 lost tribes, and they were a number about 10,000, and they're all moving back to Israel. So they strengthen the relationship even further. Let's continue with these visuals. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also earlier had paid tribute at Israel's National War Memorial during his landmark two-day visit today, and he was accompanied by the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The Prime Minister had laid a wreath and observed a moment of silence in honor of the fallen Israeli heroes there.
And you can see quite a gathering there ahead of Prime Minister's address.
Some of the children looked like they're people of Indian origin. They may be, I mean, one can't say, but...
Yeah, they did look like that, but clearly India has its own specific place in Israeli society as well in terms of a diaspora. There have been people who have received the Prasar Bharati Samman as well, people of Indian origin who are in Israel. One of them, in fact, is a chef, I think, even for this trip of Prime Minister Modi's.
Indeed. So Israel is also looking, Ambassador Wadhwa, would you say Israel is looking to become pluralistic? I mean, how safe is it? There was a time when Israel was not a safe place to go to for a tourist. I mean, after all, the conflict was raging. There were attacks, terrorist attacks regularly. How safe is it currently?
So in recent years, of course, Israel has paid special attention to countering terrorism. That, of course, did not stop, the incident which happened, which has led to the current situation as far as Gaza is concerned. Obviously, no state is perfect, but I think over the past few years or so, we've seen that Israel has been able to control infiltration to a large extent. Of course, they've done so with an iron hand as far as the settlements are concerned, as far as Gaza is concerned. But they have their own devices and they have resorted to them. I think in terms of the future, the whole region, of course, is in conflict. We can never say what can happen in any country. As far as Israel is concerned, it's a particularly combative country, I would say, because there is a lot of threat that it faces from a number of countries in the region who have still not still not part of the Abraham.
We're getting images now, Ambassador Wadhwa, Prime Minister Modi there in the Knesset, right next to the speaker. People, the members applauding him. I believe very soon his address will begin.
נא לשבת. חברות וחברי הכנסת, אני מתכבד לפתוח את הישיבה המיוחדת של הכנסת לכבוד ראש ממשלת הודו, מר נרנדרה מודי. ראש הממשלה חבר הכנסת בנימין נתניהו ורעייתו שרה. שרות ושרים, חברות וחברי הכנסת בעבר ובהווה, מהקואליציה ומהאופוזיציה, External Affairs Minister Dr. S.J. Shankar, National Security Advisor Mr. Ajit Doval, Foreign Secretary Mr. Vikram Misri, Ambassador of India to Israel J.P. Singh, Ambassador, yes, Ambassador of Israel to India Reuven Azar, members of the distinguished delegation, members of Israel's senior state leadership, heads of foreign missions to Israel, מנכ"ל הכנסת משה צ'יקו אדרי, מזכיר הכנסת דן מרזוק, היועצת המשפטית לכנסת עורכת הדין שגית אפיק, חברי הנהלת הכנסת, אורחים נכבדים מקהילות יוצאי הודו בישראל, distinguished guests, it is our profound honor to welcome the leader of the world's largest democracy and a leader that defining statesman of our time, the Prime Minister of the Republic of India, His Excellency Narendra Modi. Namaste. For Prime Minister Modi, leadership is not merely the administration of a state, but the inspiration of a nation, a huge nation. Guided by that conviction, he has transformed India. He reshaped the landscape in public health, industry, agriculture, and infrastructure. He ignited a digital revolution and drove historic advances in economic improvement and inclusion. He made India the fastest growing major economy on earth, lifting hundreds of millions of lives. In doing so, he gave new meaning to the words Jai Hind, long live India. For over 2 millennia, India gave Jews a home and, in our darkest hours, a refuge. India's ancient Jewish communities helped build this land and this country and continue to enrich it with India's culture, cuisine, and warmth. Diplomatic relations were established early, but it was the two prime ministers, Modi and Netanyahu, who forged a true strategic partnership. In 2017, our guest made history as the first Prime Minister of India to visit Israel. I was honored at Prime Minister Netanyahu's invitation to meet him as a Knesset freshman. Today, it is my great privilege as Speaker of the Knesset to welcome him as the first Prime Minister of India to address the Knesset and to make history once again. Thank you, Prime Minister Modi. Between these milestones, cooperation has deepened across every field, most notably in security and technology. As you, Prime Minister, said, technology yields its greatest benefit when shared. In that spirit, our nations are invaluable assets to one another. כשנבחרתי לתפקיד יושב ראש הכנסת הונחו לפני הצעות לבחירת יעדים לביקור המדיני הראשון. כשביקשתי לדעת באילו מדינות לא ביקר מעולם יושב ראש כנסת, הופתעתי לגלות כי הודו היא אחת מהן. הבחירה על כן הייתה קלה, והקמתי משלחת לביקור המדיני בהשתתפות חברי הכנסת עמית הלוי מהקואליציה ומיכאל ביטון מהאופוזיציה, מובילי קבוצת הידידות בכנסת. With my dear friend and esteemed counterpart, Om Birla, Speaker of the Lok Sabha, we signed the first ever MOU between our parliaments. Over the course of my visit, I encountered a great civilization, a thriving democracy, and a people of remarkable dignity and resolve. החברות בין שתי האומות שלנו עמדה במבחן המאבק המשותף שלנו בטרור. לאחר טבח 7 באוקטובר, ראש הממשלה מודי היה מהמנהיגים הראשונים שגינו את זוועות החמאס ועמדו באחווה לצידם של אזרחי ישראל. ממש כפי שאנחנו עמדנו לצידה של הודו בשעותיה הקשות, לאחר פיגוע הטרור במומבאי ב-2008 ובפלגם בשנה שעברה. שני העמים שלנו נאלצים להילחם בטרור, ושניהם, בעזרת השם, ימשיכו לנצח. Next week, the Jewish holiday of Purim and the Indian holiday of Holi will coincide. Colors will fill the air as both our nations celebrate light's triumph over darkness. Both our peoples will proclaim the same timeless truth. Hope always prevails. Prime Minister, you are, as King David was, both statesman and poet. In your poem, Ash, Hope, you describe it as a flame that bursts forth to sear the darkness with its might. That flame burns in the Psalms of King David too. Kaveh el Adonai, chazek ve'yametz libecha, kaveh el Adonai. Hope in the Lord, be strong and let your heart take courage. Hope in the Lord. Our national anthem is called Hatikva, the hope. Mr. Prime Minister, you have called the India-Israel relationship a partnership of hope. From Hatikva to Asha, hope is the hallmark of our bond. Since last night, Prime Minister, the Knesset building has been illuminated in the colors of India. May the light that unites Jerusalem and New Delhi illuminate our nation's future. Mr. Prime Minister, a Jerusalem main apka swagate, Knesset main apka swagate. Welcome to Jerusalem, welcome to the Knesset. חברות וחברי הכנסת, אני מתכבד כעת להזמין את ראש הממשלה, חבר הכנסת בנימין נתניהו, לשאת דברים. בבקשה, אדוני ראש הממשלה.
אדוני היושב-ראש, חברות וחברי הכנסת, heads of state, prime ministers, they come to the Knesset greet them warmly. And it's always an exciting moment. For all of us, and for me too. But I have to tell you, Narendra, my dear friend, I am deeply, deeply moved by your visit here today. Because I have to be diplomatic, I will not rank it, because I'll get into trouble. But I've never been more moved than by your visit here with us, a great friend of Israel, a great champion of the Indian-Israeli alliance, and a great leader on the world stage. Welcome to Jerusalem, my dear friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and your distinguished delegation. Welcome to Jerusalem. Now, I said, Narendra, my dear friend, these are not just words. I would almost venture to say, more than a friend, a brother. In many ways, brothers. Now, when you were last here, we, the two of us, were on the Mediterranean coast, and I said, why don't we take off our shoes and go into the water, which we wanted to purify, and we did, with Israeli technology. So, with all deference to our Christian friends, they said we didn't wade in the water, we walked on water. That's not true. We didn't walk on water, but we did perform miracles since then. Because what we have done is we've doubled our trade, tripled our cooperation, quadrupled our understandings in ways that I cannot begin to describe. And in some ways, probably shouldn't describe. But it's been a wondrous friendship, both personally, between the two of us, and between our two countries and our two peoples. You know, earlier today, my wife Sarah and I greeted you in the airport, and just as you came down the steps, we embraced each other. Because Prime Minister Modi's personal embrace is something special. It's called the Modi hug. It's well known around the world. And when you hug someone closely, truly, you know it's not an act, it's a real thing. It's called the Modi hug. So I want to return the hug here too from every single one of the Knesset members. And it's not only an indication of the personal relations, of the personal friendship between us, but it really reflects the warmth of the tie between our two peoples. Now, India, as you know, India is a gigantic power of almost 1.5 billion people. Israel is somewhat smaller, somewhat. But Israel is gigantic too. It's a gigantic power, gigantic in spirit, gigantic in deed, capable of performing miracles. And I want to say that the alliance between us is an enormous multiplier of our individual powers, enormous multiplier. It's a multiplier of the spirit and the multiplier of deeds and capabilities. We are two ancient civilizations going back thousands of years. And if you look at where human civilization developed on the planet, it developed in a few places. And chief among them, the Indus Valley and the Jordan Valley. These are the places where enormous things developed, enormous spiritual things, conceptual things, matters of the heart, matters of the mind, matters of morality. We're two ancient civilizations, and we had to go through the voyage of time, the odyssey of time, with so many trials and tribulations, and yet 80 years ago we emerged, the two of us, from British rule, almost 80 years, almost at the same time, achieved our independence. We share so many common interests. We're two democracies. You're a gigantic democracy, but Israel is also, think about what we had to do, what we had to go through, and how we maintained our democracy against challenges that I believe few countries, if any, have faced. We are now deepening our deep bond, את הברית החזקה, האסטרטגית, הגלויה שיצרנו. יצרנו ברית גלויה. ולא פחות מזה, שתי המדינות שלנו נמצאות בשיא כוחן. ישראל חזקה מאי פעם, והודו חזקה מאי פעם. אמרתי עכשיו לראש ממשלת הודו, שישבנו אצלך במשרד, אדוני היושב ראש, אמרתי, אני עוקב, באופן אישי, אני עוקב אחרי כל הידיעות שמגיעות מהודו. הודו עכשיו מדורגת ממספר כזה וכזה בעולם, גבוה גבוה. הודו עכשיו השיגה יעד נוסף, גבוה גבוה. הודו עשתה כך והודו עשתה כך. אני אומר, קודם כל, נרנדרה עשה. ויחד איתו העם ההודי, ואני כל כך מרוצה, אני רק אומר עוד ועוד ועוד. כי ב-12 השנים תחת מנהיגותך אתה יזמת רפורמות, אתה השקעת בתשתיות, אתה עשית בתעסוקה, בבריאות, בחקלאות, ברווחה, באיכות החיים, באנרגיה, בטכנולוגיה, בחדשנות. רציתי להגיד לכם, השמיים הם הגבול, מה פתאום? הודו היא מעצמת חלל, אחת הגדולות בעולם, שמיים לא הגבול. כלומר, האתגרים אף פעם לא נגמרים, אבל הודו, בהנהגתך, ידידי, ביססה את מעמדה כאריה אסייתי שמסתער על היעד. עוד צמיחה, עוד קדמה, עוד שגשוג, עוד שגשוג. ואני רוצה לומר לך, חברי נרנדרה, יש עוד סיבה להערכה עמוקה שאתה זוכה לה פה בבית הזה ומהציבור בישראל. כי מיד לאחרי הטבח הנורא ב7 באוקטובר, מיד אחרי ההתקפה הרצחנית הזאת, אתה התייצבת בצורה כל כך ברורה, כל כך מוסרית, כל כך חדה, התייצבת לצד ישראל. You didn't flinch, you didn't waver, you didn't give excuses. You stood next to Israel, you stood by Israel, you stood for Israel, you stood for the truth. Thank you, my friend. אנחנו אף פעם לא נשכח זאת. אנחנו יודעים מול מה אנחנו התייצבנו. אבל רבים בעולם, אולי בסימפתיה רגעית, ראשונית, שכחו מהר מאוד. ישראל מתייצבת, ניצבה ומתייצבת, בחזית של הציוויליזציה מול האסלאם הקיצוני. ובסיס האם של האסלאם הקיצוני הוא המזרח התיכון. אבל הלבה שפולט הר הגעש של הקנאות הזאת, הלבה הזאת מתפשטת במהירות לכל יבשת, לכל מדינה. הודו כמו ישראל ידע פיגועי טרור קשים שגבו את חייהם של חפים מפשע, כשרעייתי שרה ואני ביקרנו במומבאי, היינו באותו מלון מפורסם שבו הייתה ההתקפה הרצחנית הזאת, ומשם הלכנו כמה מטרים למרכז חב"ד, ששם טרוריסטים מתועבים רצחו את הזוג, שני הורים צעירים של הילד מוישי. ומי הציל את מוישי? מי שהצילה את מוישי הייתה האומנת ההודית שלו. גם את זה לא נשכח אף פעם. הודו תומכת בישראל, וישראל תומכת בהודו, גם במקרים שהם ידועים, וגם במקרים שהם פחות ידועים. הודו תומכת בישראל, כי היא מבינה שישראל משמשת קיר מגן מפני הברבריות, ואנחנו עושים זאת קודם כל להגן על עצמנו, אבל גם בשירות העולם התרבותי. ישראל, כמו הודו, היא מבצר של דמוקרטיה, של חופש, של זכויות אדם, במרחב פראי רוחש סכנות. הטבח של 7 באוקטובר הבהיר חד משמעית, או שציר הרשע הג'יהאדיסטי ישבור אותנו, או שאנחנו נשבור אותו, ואנחנו שוברים ונשבור אותו. ועשינו זאת ואנחנו עושים זאת בזכות הגבורה של לוחמינו, הלוחמים והלוחמות, המפקדים והמפקדות שלנו. איזה גבורה, איזה גבורה. ידידי נרנדרה, הייתי רוצה להפגיש אותך, אם יהיה זמן, עם כמה מהם. צריך לראות אותם. הייתי רוצה להפגיש אותך עם הפצועים שלנו. חלקם קטועי גפיים. יש אחד מהם, אני אביא את התמונה שלו הערב, אני רוצה להראות לך. קוראים לו ארי, which means lion, Ari Spitz. And Ari lost his 2 legs and his arms, one of his arms. And he has prosthetics. He's sitting there smiling, cheering with his one healthy arm. And he says, Israel lives, Am Yisrael Chai. בזכות הגבורה של לוחמינו, בזכות ההחלטות המושכלות והאמיצות שקיבלה ממשלת ישראל שפרוסה פה לפניך, בזכות העמידה האיתנה של אזרחינו, בזכות כל אלה הכינו את אויבינו שוק על ירך ב7 חזיתות של מלחמת התקומה. אבל ידידי היקר, אנחנו שילמנו מחירים יקרים. ואני רוצה לספר לך שגם לוחמים ולוחמות ממשפחות יוצאות הודו נפלו בקרבות. אנחנו מרכינים ראש לזכרם יחד עם כל גיבורינו שנפלו. מלחמת המגן שלנו היא מלחמה צודקת מאין כמוה, אבל זו לא רק מלחמה בשדה הקרב. זו מלחמה על האמת, זו מלחמה על עתיד האנושות. ואני חייב להגיד שאנחנו רואים שבקרב על עתיד האנושות, גם הפעם האנטישמיות מרימה ראש. היינו שם רק לפני 80 שנה וראינו את זה. אנטישמיות שמתחילה עם היהודים ואחר כך מסכנת את האנושות כולה. אל מול גלי האנטישמיות והשקרים שמותחים בינינו, לא הרכנו ראש. אבל גם במאבק הזה, נרנדרה, מצאנו בך ובהודו ידידי אמת. In a world where anti-Semitism is rising, India stands out. A civilization where Jews were never persecuted by the state, only welcomed. We don't forget that too. Thank you, India. נרנדרה, ידידי ראש ממשלת הודו, מול האסלאם הקיצוני שמאיים על האנושות כולה ועל המדינות החופשיות, נבנה יחד ברית ברזל. ברית של מדינות שדוגלות במתינות, בקדמה, בכבוד האדם, בכבוד הדדי. ברית של מדינות שמקדשות את החיים ושמוכנות להילחם נגד אלה שסוגדות למוות ורוצות להחזיר אותנו אל הברבריות האפלה של ימי הביניים. בשבוע הבא אנחנו נחגוג את חג הפורים, והעם היהודי יקרא את מגילת אסתר מתוך התנ"ך. הודו מוזכרת שם, כפי שאמרת יושב ראש, בתיאור ממלכת פרס ומדי הקדומה, שכדברי המגילה הסתרה מהודו עד כוש. קהילות יהודיות התקיימו במשך הדורות בהודו. מאז שזכינו בעצמאותנו, רבבות יהודים ילידי הודו באו לישראל, ולאחרונה החלטנו בממשלה לעלות לארץ חלק מקהילת בני המנשה בהודו. פגשנו את הנציגים שלהם, ילדים חמודים, ואחד מההורים אמר לי, אנחנו לא בני מנשה, אנחנו בני ישראל, נכון מאוד, והם עולים ארצה, מתוך רצונם להיקלט במדינתנו. כי הכמיהה לציון, הכמיהה לארץ ישראל, עומדת בלב החזון הציוני. את זה הבינו כמה מגדולי הרוח של הודו, שהתייחסו לציונות בראשית דרכה באהדה גדולה. ביניהם היה המשורר הדגול טגור. טגור זכה בפרס נובל לספרות עוד לפני מלחמת העולם הראשונה. במהלכו, מלחמת העולם הראשונה, I know you know this, but I want to make sure that everyone knows this. In the First World War, when we were still under Ottoman occupation, those who helped us liberate this country, the British Army, in which there were Jewish fighters, including Jabotinsky, with the 1st Jewish Battalion, but also brave Iranian soldiers and commanders who fought like lions in the battle against Haifa for the liberation of Haifa. The forces were pushed back, and who stormed forward, gave their lives? Indian commanders. We never forget that too. They gave their lives for us. Tagore spoke so positively about our national movement, and his writings were translated into Hebrew. היו מי שישבו את דמותו, עטורת הזקן הלבן, לנביאי ישראל. מילים שיצאו בהודו דיברו אלינו, וכך גם מספרים שיצאו מהודו. דודי המנוח, פרופסור אלישע נתניהו, זיכרונו לברכה, היה ממקימי הפקולטה למתמטיקה בטכניון. That's our equivalent of MIT. הדוד אלישע תמיד דיבר איתי בהערצה על המתמטיקאים ההודים, ובייחוד הוא הזכיר את רמנוג'ן. הזכיר אותו הרבה פעמים, כי התגליות הגאוניות של רמנוג'ן בתחילת המאה ה-20 שינו את פני המתמטיקה. רמנוג'ן בא מהעם. הוא בא מהעם. הוא לא בא מאוניברסיטה. גם אתה באת מהעם. אתה צמחת מהעם. אתה עלית מעלה כי ידעת מהם השורשים שלך. ובכן, כל זה קרה בתחילת המאה הקודמת. ולקראת סוף המאה הקודמת, הודו וישראל כוננו יחסים מלאים, ואחת התוצאות של מפנה דיפלומטי זה היא תנועת המטיילים הישראלים אל המזרח. עשרות אלפי ישראלים, צעירים ומבוגרים, מבקרים מדי שנה בהודו. הם מתפעלים מהכל, ממה שיש היום וגם מהמורשת התרבותית העתיקה. והם מספרים שאחד מאזרחי הודו שואל מטייל בישראל, כמה אתם? והישראלי עונה לו, 10 מיליון. וההודי ממשיך, וכמה בישראל? לא 1.5 מיליארד, אבל רבים שמעריצים את הודו, מחבקים את הודו, ורוצים גם לבוא להודו. אחד מהם זה אני, וגם רעייתי פה, אנחנו רוצים ביקור חוזר, זה בטוח. את זה כבר חילצתי, אני כבר אומר לכם, הישג דיפלומטי ראשון, נביא את הממשלה להודו. לא רק שנביא את ראש ממשלת הודו לממשלה, נביא את הממשלה, את ממשלת ישראל להודו, לביקור. G2G. בביקורך הנוכחי, they all want to come. בביקור הנוכחי שלך בישראל, אנחנו נהדק עוד יותר את הקשרים בינינו, גם האישיים וגם המדינתיים, כי יחד אנחנו מובילים מהלכים בקנה מידה היסטורי. זה קורה בוודאי ביחס לאתגרי הביטחון ולהזדמנויות בביטחון, אבל זה לא רק בביטחון. אנחנו יוצרים צירי פעולה חדשניים בכלכלה, במסחר, באנרגיה, בטכנולוגיה, בסייבר, בבינה מלאכותית ובחלל. בחלל, גם כן. שר הביטחון ישראל, אתה מרבה לדבר על זה, והנה, תדע שיש כאן אוזן קשבת. אנחנו מפתחים יחד את יוזמת איימק. זה מסדרון ימי ויבשתי שיחבר את הודו דרך חצי האי ערב. יחבר אותה לנמל חיפה, ומכאן לים התיכון ולאירופה. ואיימק, המסדרון היבשתי ימי הזה, יכול להתקיים ולשגשג רק אם יעבור דרך מדינות יציבות ובטוחות. ואין מדינות חזקות ובטוחות יותר בציר הזה מאשר הודו וישראל. ולכן אני מברך על המחויבות שלך לכך שישראל תהיה חוליה מחברת בין אסיה לאירופה דרך נמל חיפה. בביקור הזה שלך אני איישם גם הסכמים בתיירות, בתרבות, בחקלאות, במים, בהתפלה, וברוח הסכמי אברהם לשלום אנחנו נמשיך את המהפכה של בריתות חדשות, של הגברת היציבות האזורית, של חיזוק החוסן, הקדמה והשגשוג. אני רוצה שתשימו לב, אנחנו לא רק מגיבים למציאות, אנחנו מעצבים את המציאות, מתוך קרבה ואמון גדולים מאי פעם. ידידי נרנדרה, מאז ביקורך האחרון בישראל, הקודם, ב-2017, מים רבים זרמו בנהר הגנגס בהודו, כמו גם בים התיכון, שם טבלנו שנינו את רגלינו ביום קיץ נפלא. אבל מאז אני מבקש לעדכן אתכם שאנחנו שומרים על קשר רצוף. אנחנו מדברים עשרות פעמים בטלפון, שיחות כל כך גלויות, כל כך חבריות, עם חום הלב, חום אמיתי ולא מעושה. אנחנו הוספנו מאז לקדם את היחסים בינינו, אנחנו טיפחנו את הקשר בין שני העמים, שבכל אחד מהם יש הרבה סקרנות והרבה כישרון. אני זוכר את החוויה מרטיטת הלב שביקרנו יחד איתך במחוז גוג'ראט, שם גדלת, שם היית למושל, ושם המושל מודי גילה את הגאוניות של החקלאות בישראל והביא אותה להודו, ומשם זה התפשט לכל הודו. ובכן, ביקרנו שם, וכשביקרנו בגוג'ראט, מאות אלפים של התושבים עמדו ברחובות והריעו ונופפו בדגלי ישראל והודו, והיה שם גם שלט ענק בעברית, ענק, כמו כל הבניין הזה. ברוכים הבאים, בעברית. אז היום, מכובדי, אתה שוב בישראל, אתה מתקבל כאן באותה קבלה חמה, באותה קרבת לבבות. במאה ה-21 אנחנו נביא את הברית בין ישראל להודו לגבהים חסרי תקדים, ואני בטוח שיום יבוא, אני בטוח, כי כשביקרנו בהודו אתה הבאת מופע של האומנים הפנטסטיים מבוליווד. אז אני אומר, יבוא יום ויעשו סרט בהוליווד על סיפור האחווה בין שתי המדינות, ואני מבטיח לכם, זה יהיה סרט שובר קופות. ראש הממשלה מודי, ידידי היקר נרנדרה, אני מברך אותך מעומק ליבי, אותך ואת פמלייתך ברוכים הבאים תהיו כולכם בישראל, בירושלים, בחברות אמת ובהוקרת אמת. ברוכים הבאים.
תודה לראש הממשלה, ואני מזמין כעת את ראש האופוזיציה, חבר הכנסת יאיר לפיד, לשאת דברים. בבקשה.
Mr. Prime Minister, I'm only going to take a minute of your time to make sure you know whatever happened here today has nothing to do with you. The entire state of Israel. Let's try and not make things worse. The entire state of Israel is filled with admiration to your leadership, to your friendship, to the fact that you were here for us in our time of trouble, and to the alliance, the eternal alliance between our two states. So thank you very much for being here, and we are all, both sides of the aisle, looking forward to hear your speech. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
אני מתכבד, חברות וחברי הכנסת, אני מתכבד כעת להזמין את ראש ממשלת הודו, מר נרנדרה מודי, לשאת דברים. בבקשה.
His Excellency Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, His Excellency Mr. Amir Ohana, Speaker of the Knesset, His Excellency Mr. Yair Lapid, Leader of the Opposition, Honorable members of the Knesset, my dear sisters and brothers, Shalom. Namaste. Honorable members, it is a privilege and an honor for me to stand before this distinguished House. I do so as the Prime Minister of India and also as a representative of one ancient civilization addressing another. I bring with me the greetings of 1.4 billion Indians and a message of friendship, respect, and partnership. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your kind invitation and for your wonderful gesture of lighting up the Knesset in Indian colors. Your visit to India 3 years ago was the first by a Speaker of the Knesset. And thanks to you, I am the first Prime Minister of India to address this august gathering. Nine years ago, I had the good fortune to be the first Prime Minister of India to visit Israel. And I'm very happy to be here again, returning to a land to which I have always felt drawn. After all, I was born on the same day that India formally recognized Israel, September 17, 1950. Honorable members, I also carry with me the deepest condolences of the people of India for every life lost and for every family whose world was shattered in the barbaric terrorist attack by Hamas on October 7. We feel your pain. We share your grief. India stands with Israel firmly, with full conviction in this moment and beyond. No cause can justify the murder of civilians. Nothing can justify terrorism. India has also endured the pain of terrorism for a long time. We remember the 26/11 Mumbai attacks and the innocent lives lost, including Israeli citizens. Like you, we have consistent and uncompromising policy of zero tolerance for terrorism with no double standards. Terrorism aims to destabilize societies, to block development, and to erode trust. Countering terrorism requires sustained and coordinated global action because terror anywhere threatens peace everywhere. That is why India supports all efforts that contribute to durable peace and regional stability. Some years ago, when you concluded the Abraham Accords, we applauded your courage and vision. It was a moment of new hope for a long troubled region. Since then, the situation has changed significantly. the path is even more challenging. Yet, it is important to sustain that hope. The Gaza Peace Initiative that was endorsed by the UN Security Council offers a pathway. India has expressed its firm support for the initiative. We believe that it holds the promise of a just and durable peace for all the people of the region, including by addressing the Palestine issue. Let all our efforts be guided by wisdom, courage, and humanity. The road to peace is not always easy, but India joins you and the world for dialogue, peace, and stability in this region. Honorable members, in India, there is a great admiration for Israel's resolve, courage, and achievements. Long before we related to each other as modern states, we were linked by ties that go back more than 2,000 years. The book of Esther refers to India as Hodu. The Talmud records trade with India in ancient times. Jewish merchants traveled across sea routes that connected the Mediterranean with the Indian Ocean. They came seeking opportunity and dignity. And in India, they became one of us. Jewish communities have lived in India without fear of persecution or discrimination. They have preserved their faith and participated fully in society. That record is a source of pride for us. Honorable members, the Bene Israel of Maharashtra, the Kochini Jews of Kerala, the Baghdadi Jews of Kolkata and Mumbai, and the Bene Menashe of the Northeast have enriched India. In my home state, Gujarat, there is a school set up by a Bene Israeli family, Mr. and Mrs. Best. It is an excellent school, and of course, it is called the Best School. Edwin Myers gave shape to the film's division of India and was a towering figure in the history of Indian cinema. Dr. Rubin David was the founder of the Kankaria Jew in Ahmedabad. The actor David Abraham Cheulkar, or Uncle David, become a household name across the country. Walter Kaufman composed the signature tune for All India Radio. David Sassoon built many institutions that still serve Indian society. And of course, the heroic contribution of Lieutenant General J.F.R. Jacob during the 1970 war with Pakistan is widely known. I had the honor of working closely with him after his retirement. We discussed India-Israel relations, among many other things, over many cups of tea. There have been countless others whose contributions are woven into India's rich fabric of life. Honorable members, there was movement from India to Israel too, when many Indian Jews migrated to Israel in the mid-20th century. Today, a vibrant Indian origin Jewish community lives here. They are contributed to the building of modern Israel in laboratories and hospitals, in classrooms, and also on the battlefield. They hold firmly that Israel is their fatherland and India their motherland. We are proud of them. Honorable members, India's connection to this land is also written in blood and sacrifice. During the First World War, more than 4,000 Indian soldiers laid down their lives in this region. The cavalry charge at Haifa in September 1918 remains a significant chapter in military history. Major Thakur Dalpat Singh, remembered as the hero of Haifa, symbolized the shared history. During my last visit, I was deeply moved to pay my respect at the Haifa Memorial for Indian soldiers. Honorable members, last month, the world marked the International Holocaust Remembrance Day. The Holocaust stands as one of humanity's darkest chapters. Yet, even in those turbulent years, some acts of humanity stood out. The Maharaja of Navanagar in Gujarat, also known as the Jam Sahib, offered refuge to Polish children, including Jewish children who had nowhere else to turn. I am told that a statue of Jam Sahib was unveiled in Moshav Nevatim recently. Thank you. Thank you for this honor and remembrance. Honorable members, after India's independence, many Indian leaders felt a kinship with the people of Israel. India's parliamentary debates of the 1950s are witness to their admiration for Israel's effort to develop agriculture in the desert. The kibbutz movement of Israel inspired our leaders like Acharya Vinoba Bhave and Loknayak Jayaprakash Narayan. First in my home state, Gujarat, and now across India, I've seen the approach of per drop, more crop work wonders in agriculture. My own first visit to Israel was in 2006 as the Chief Minister of Gujarat. Later in 2017, during my visit to Israel as Prime Minister, our two countries elevated the relationship to a strategic partnership. Since then, our engagement has expanded in scale and scope, and we are committed to further consolidate this relationship across many sectors. Honorable members, for the last few years, India has been the fastest growing major economy in the world. Soon, we will be among the top 3 economies globally. At the same time, Israel is a powerhouse of innovation and technological leadership. This creates a natural foundation for our forward-looking partnership. We are committed to expanding trade, strengthening investment flows, and promoting joint infrastructure development. The bilateral investment treaty signed last year will provide confidence and predictability to our businesses. In the last few years, India has concluded a number of important trade agreements with other nations. To your west, the European Union and the UK. To your east, the UAE and Oman. Our bilateral goods trade has grown significantly in recent years, but it does not reflect the full scope of opportunity. That is why our teams are working hard to negotiate an ambitious free trade agreement. It will unlock the vast untapped potential in our trade relationship. We will also work closely in different formats, such as India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, and the I2U2 framework between India, Israel, UAE, and the US. Defense and security is another important pillar of our partnership. In November last year, we signed an MOU on defense cooperation. In today's uncertain world, a strong defense partnership between trusted partners like India and Israel is of vital importance. Honorable members, Israel is often called the startup nation. In recent years, we have also been working to unlock the innovation and creativity of our youth. I recall that in 2018, Prime Minister Netanyahu and I inaugurated the I Create Technology Business Incubator in India. Since then, it has supported nearly 900 such startups. Last week, we hosted the world's largest and the most democratized AI Impact Summit with representatives from over 100 countries. Our aspirational spirit aligns naturally with Israel's innovation ecosystem. I see a lot of synergies in areas such as quantum technologies, semiconductors, and artificial intelligence. We are also working with Israel on creating cross-border financial linkages using our digital public infrastructure. Honorable members, I mentioned how inspiring we found Israel's agricultural miracle in desert. Israeli expertise in precision irrigation and water management has already transformed agricultural practices in India. Together, we have established 43 centers of excellence across India that have provided training to more than 500,000 farmers. We should now set an ambitious goal to expanding to 100 centers to benefit millions of farmers and fishermen. Honorable members, at the heart of the India-Israel partnership are the ties between our peoples. When I first visited Israel in 2006, there were a handful of yoga centers in Israel. Today, yoga seems to be practiced in almost every neighborhood. I am told that interest in Ayurveda is also growing in Israel. I invite more and more young Israelis to travel to India. They will witness the dynamism of our society and experience what holistic wellness can do for the body and the mind. I'm happy to inform this August House that the Indian Parliament has set up a parliamentary friendship group for Israel. I invite you all to visit India and look forward to having more exchanges between our members of parliament. I am aware that Indian caregivers and skilled workers in Israel contribute immensely to families and communities. They have displayed remarkable courage and dedication in times of crisis, including on October 7. We are proud of them. As the Jewish teachings reminds us, whoever saves one life saves the entire world. Their service reflects the strength of the human bonds behind our cooperation. We will continue to facilitate the movement of workers and professionals across sectors that benefit both of our nations. Honorable members, we are both ancient civilizations, and it is perhaps no surprise that our civilizational traditions also reveal philosophical parallels. In Israel, the principle of Tikkun Olam speaks of healing the world. In India, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam affirms that the world is one family. Both ideas extend responsibility beyond immediate boundaries. They ask societies to act with compassion and moral courage. Judaism emphasizes halakha, guiding everyday conduct through law and practice. Hindu philosophy speaks of dharma, the moral order that shapes duty and right action. In both traditions, ethical life is lived through action and faith is expressed through conduct. There is an enduring similarity in our festivals as well. You celebrate Hanukkah with the warm glow of candles. Around the same time, we celebrate Diwali, the festival of lights, with the gentle radiance of lamps. Soon, India will celebrate the festival of Holi, filled with happiness and color. And around the same time, Israel will also celebrate Purim with enthusiasm and joy. Honorable members, our shared ideals are the deep foundations that give strength to our modern partnership. We are democracies shaped by history and focus on the future. Our partnership is grounded in shared experience and shared aspirations. Our strong partnership not only serves national interests, but also contributes to global stability and prosperity. Let us ensure that the friendship between India and Israel remains a source of strength in an uncertain world. Am Israel Chai. Jai Hind. Thank you.
חברות וחברי הכנסת, אני מתכבד להעניק לראשונה בתולדות המשכן את עיטור הכנסת, אות הכבוד הגבוה ביותר שבית המחוקקים הישראלי יעניק לראש ממשלת הרפובליקה של הודו, נרנדרה מודי, כהוקרה על הובלתו האישית לחיזוק היחסים המדיניים בין הודו לבין ישראל ועל תרומתו להעמקת שיתופי הפעולה בתחומי הביטחון, הכלכלה, החקלאות, החדשנות, הטכנולוגיה ועוד. מנהיגותו, כפי שיכולתם להתרשם כולכם, מבטאת ידידות אמיצה ומחויבות לשותפות ארוכת טווח המבוססת על ערכים משותפים ואינטרסים משותפים בין שתי המדינות. בבקשה, אדוני.
כבוד יושב ראש הכנסת וכבוד ראש ממשלת הודו.
אוקיי.
קהל נכבד, אנא יישארו במקומותיכם עד ליציאת הפמליה ממשכן הכנסת. מליאת הכנסת תצא להפסקה קצרה ואנו נודיע על חידוש הישיבה.
इजराइल की संसद कनेसेट में प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का संबोधन और उससे
We just heard Prime Minister Modi addressing the Israeli Parliament, the Knesset, and then he's been honored as well with the Medal of Honor, for which we will have more information coming in.
Right. We heard a lot in Hebrew as well, and before the Prime Minister spoke, we heard the Prime Minister of Israel also speaking, and he spoke about how deeply moved he was by the visit of the great leader of the world stage to Israel, mentioning Prime Minister Narendra Modi not just as a friend, now moving closer to being brothers, and he talked about the Modi hug, and both leaders talked about the ancient civilizations. The Indus Valley civilization and the Jordan Valley was what Netanyahu spoke. Of course, he spoke a lot in Hebrew after that, for which we do not have much translation. But Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in his over half-hour speech, spoke about the message of friendship and respect of 1.4 billion people. He brought that with him to Israel. He also talked